As always, let me apologize for the background noise. Although I know much more, I don't think I should blow. That didn't sound right, did it? I don't think I should blow Carmen Sue. I'm not a doctor or anything, but I don't want to blow her HIPAA. I don't want to do a HIPAA violation on Carmen. But let me explain to you, and I don't know, she met my mother, and that's a whole nother story. That's going to come later. I don't know if this was just an act, because I don't know when she was involved. Was she involved already? And that's why she was acting this way? But after I introduced her to my mom, when my mom came to Santa Cruz, there was some strange shit going on. I felt like they were biting over me in some strange manner. But this may very well be FBI profilers telling them how to act and all this bullshit, which is really fucking interesting. I'd like to fucking speak to these fucking, sorry, some of them are really good. I think some of them suck. Anyway. So I cannot know if this was just another scenario being played out for me for some reason. It was kind of early on when we first hooked up and we were hanging out and blah, blah, blah. And I just told her, how, am I not supposed to let her know that I'm kind of happy to be with somebody who's a pediatrician that has influence over the children in the area? I don't know. And so, as a pediatrician, one of just a few in the Santa Cruz area, and because she's a professional windsurfer and such, she has her clientele. But as let's just say as a doctor, even when you're off, there's times where, when you need to call your doctor, but they're off. So you get the answering service and you let them know whether it's an emergency or not, so that they can contact your doctor if they need to. And so we're hanging out. I think we're having dinner or something like that. And she's talking to a mother of a child. At least this is what the scenario is being played out. I do not believe this is a scenario. I think this is an actual call. And I think she tried to explain to me something. And what you need to understand is that before this call, there's also an issue with Thule, her dog at the time that was blind. Older dog and was blind. Beautiful dog. That was not a scenario with Thule. I'll make that story next. I'll leave that story for next. But I told her, I said, she's an important person in this community. That no matter what, that my insignificant ass is never, ever, 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 ever to be placed between her practice, between her and her patients. Ever. Ever. And I'm pretty sure the Thule situation happened after this. And I had to make it clear to her again, and I'll leave that story, it's a separate story. Thule deserves that. Thule deserves that. At the same time, this mother I do not know how old the infant was, whether it was a few months or many months, but it was definitely an infant. And as she's talking to the mother, first she talks to the operator. She's like, ugh, okay, fine. I kind of look over like, huh? And she's repeating what the mother is telling her so that I can hear. I don't know if that's a HIPAA violation, but I'm not a doctor, so I can repeat what it is that happened here. Because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm none of those things. And she starts animating the mother's concern about her infant to me, at me, while she's talking to the mother. She actually takes the phone away from her head and does that thing, you know when somebody's like, oh yeah, it's the same old thing I heard every blah 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 blah, not saying it out loud, but doing the fucking motions and making the and I'm just like, I look over at her, I'm like, hey, I say quietly to her, hey, I can leave, I can go, I don't if you have something you have to do, please go do it. I don't need to be here, it's not a big deal, I'll be right back, you let me know, I'll come right back. I was her boy toy by that time, understand, her boy toy. And when I say that, I think, you do recall the 200 Viagra and all this other stuff. Her birthday was coming. Are you all listening? Please listen. And I won't reveal what I know about her and her own medical issues, which I cannot know for certain, because there's been these scenarios created over and over again, at least since 2007, by my parents and everyone that they touch and that they know. And hey, shh, sorry. And I just need to make it very, very clear. I cannot be certain, but even if these are scenarios being played out, exactly what the fuck are they doing? What is going on here? But let me be crystal clear and get back to the focus of my attention, of the attention that I'm asking you for. That Carmen Sue, almost a 20-year pediatrician, if she's still there, then it's longer than 20 years by now. Part of the surf culture, that's a whole nother category of talks. Surf culture. I'm not talking about surf culture like, oh yeah, groovy man, to catch some waves and gnarly dude. I'm talking about surf rage, and you can find a story about it in the New York Times to understand just how legitimate. It's basically gangster culture, but in the water. And I try to make it very clear to her that I don't know what's going on, and I'm a little bit confused. I don't know why she's animating herself to me in the middle of this crisis with one of her patient's parents. I mean, the patient is a child, right? And she's just making these faces and going blah, 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 and whoop-de-whoop. I already told you what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This kind of reply towards the mother of a child that this person is, this woman, this mother is absolutely terrified for. Absolutely terrified for. I know that some of you may want to think that these are dramatics. like I'm doing some sort of dramatic thing right here. But I made it very clear to her. I'm pretty sure I may not have left that night, but after the Thule situation, I'm pretty sure I left, because that would have been the second time. Understand, and it may be an issue that I'm not going to divulge here, because I'm not, even though I'm not a doctor, I still don't think it's okay to be talking about people's medical conditions in a public space that's... But any investigator will find out what they need to know. But Carmen Sue, she don't give a shit. Let me be very clear. She had befriended a family. They windsurf and do this kind of thing. I think it's a European man and a Asian woman. They happen to have twins. Two beautiful girls. And Carmen had kind of not adopted them, but she kind of played an influential part in their life. So one day we go to the house. She wanted to drop some things off for the kids or for the husband or for the wife or something like that. And when we leave, she says to me, Can you fucking believe how ugly she is? And I'm like, what? What are you, what? Who? What are you talking about? Who's ugly? There ain't no ugly people. There are no ugly people. Just dumbasses who think other people are ugly. That's all there is. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who ugly? What? Can you believe she is the mother of those twins? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Carmen? These people trust you with their children and this is what you fucking say? I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that if the woman and the children, but I'm pretty sure Carmen was fucking the husband, actually. I'm sure he was a doctor or something like that. She was fucking all of them. I'm sorry, but it's the fucking truth. Like I said before, I'd rather masturbate than ever be a woman like with her like her again. And I've been around. Not as much as you dumb fuckers think. Not the people listening here, but the people that have been influenced. Sorry about the background noise. But I've been around. And I can tolerate all kinds of stuff in that regard. And it would have taken 2 Viagra to have any more sex with her. She's an absolutely pretentious and, let me get back to being a human, damaged individual. And that's what's going on there. She's definitely damaged. But in a position as hers, with the power that she wields, when she gets mad at her ex-boyfriend because I don't want to be her fucking boy toy anymore, and she gets extra influenced by my parents, because my father knew her also, because people say, I guess, oh, he's so naive. No, they're my fucking family. I should be able to trust them. It ain't my fault that I trusted these people. It's their fault that they fucking are acting like criminals. Plain and simple. Carmen Sue is a dangerous individual. Absolutely frightening.